Hello, and welcome to Oracle Supply Chain Manufacturing Cloud's Configurator Modeling course. Our first topic will consist of an overview of configurator modeling. Here's our learning objectives for this topic. After completing this lesson, you should be able to do the following. Be able to outline and understand the integration with order management and configurator modeling. Be able to create an order with a configurable product. Understand and use the configurator runtime to configure a product. Be able to explain the actions which are available within the configurator user interface, identify the contents of the review configuration page, and identify the contents of the view components page, and also be able to validate and submit an order with the configured product. Our first topic will be an overview of the configurator runtime. This section will primarily discuss how the configurator is used by end users, such as order entry managers or order entry specialists. Primarily, you use the functionality of configurator modeling in two distinct areas. There is the configurator runtime application. This component is used during order entry to enable you to configure products that meet unique needs for your customers. As an example, you could configure a car that has specific interior colors, features, and trim. The other component is the configurator model work area. This provides a model building workbench that allows you to build complex models by enabling you to write rules against the model. The workbench also enables you to create multiple user interfaces for a product by using images along with style text and UI controls for the configurable options. This configurator runtime application is integrated with order management, which is your hosting application, so that users can configure and validate complex orders of items. This image depicts how a user interface is dynamically assembled when a user chooses an order entry to configure a product. The user interface enables the user to select all the valid options for the product. Here are some of the runtime features. A validation service is triggered by specific events. This could be such things as submitting an order to ensure that all the options that are selected for a configured product are still valid, even after the initial configuration session. This can be especially useful if there are long lead times between when an order is actually created and when it is submitted for fulfillment. You can use predefined UI templates to dynamically assemble all your runtime UIs and simplify your user interface product. You can also define multiple UIs which can be used for configuring a product. The actual elements within the user interface can also be displayed or hidden conditionally based on other selections that the user might be making. This makes the whole configuration experience easy and relevant for your users. You can also use the Product Configurator Manager role to let you set up conditional displays within the configurator model work area. You can modify these dynamic UIs by using a WYSIWYG editor within the configurator model's work area. You can also test the runtime behavior of these models and their UIs before you actually deploy them to your production. Product models include transactional item attributes, or TIAs, so that the user can provide inputs which are specific to the current configuration. These TIA values that are provided during this configuration session are also stored with the order lines, and they become available to the downstream fulfillment process. The configurator is integrated with pricing so that the product prices are calculated and displayed while an item is being configured within your sales order. This section will provide a high-level overview of the configurator runtime application and its key components. It'll help you understand where configurator modeling fits in with the overall order management flow and how you can configure and validate for a specific product. This screen shows an example of the Personal Choices train stop. Oracle's Application Development Framework, or ADF, is the framework on which all Fusion applications are built. Because the configurator runtime is also built with ADF, its look and feel is consistent with most applications such as order management that embed configurator to enable end users in their orders. This page shows an example of a template-driven user interface that allows user runtime UIs. In the configurator runtime UI, the end user interacts with parts of the UIs that are rendered by. In the underlying product model definition, these control model by a template map which controls the navigation style and the way in which product elements are rendered in the configured UI. These include things such as standard items, option classes. At runtime, the product item information from the model, the control templates, and the template map that maintains the mapping between them based on the item type are then assembled in the configurator runtime UI that is presented to the end user to configure the model. This screenshot highlights the shell template, layout template, and control templates. In the runtime user interface, the UI templates are assembled to represent possible for a configurable item. These include elements such as the control template that presents a selectable representation of items. As an example, an option class with mutually exclusive as a set of radio buttons from which the user can select only a single button. Also, you have the layout template that determines the visual layout such as a fork and the control template or elements within the layout region. And you also have the shell template, which keeps together all the other regions or parts of the UI, and it also provides the navigation and actions for the UI, such as finish or cancel. Actions that an end user can select at the UI level include Save for Later. Will save the configuration as is, which is left in the state that the end user without the configurator actually finishing the configuration. So there you can come back and finish it later. There's also a Finish and Review option. The configurator engine finishes and then navigates the end user to a review page where all the selections are displayed for final review. There's also the Finish function. The configurator engine will automatically complete all the remaining selections that are required for valid and it'll return that selection information back to the host application. Or also Cancel. This is where the user is warned about losing any selections which they are returned to the host application from which the configurator is invoked. This next section will discuss the integration between configurator and order management. This gives the users the ability of creating orders that can be filled seamlessly and also avoiding any areas during the order fulfillment. This listing gives examples of the benefits of integration management. When an item is being added to an order and it needs to be configured, the end user selects a configure action, which then to help select valid options for that item. Then, the configurator UI is displayed, which is embedded within the UI of the host application, such as order management. After the item has been validated within the order, if the user wants to go back and change any existing selections, they can simply do that by going back and going to the configure actions again on individual order lines and modify. The details of the configuration are not saved explicitly until the entire order has been saved. Also, user sees for any product in the configurator UI are always obtained from the pricing data for the customer for who the product is being ordered for. These are also some of the benefits of integration with pricing, which allows end users to see real-time pricing at runtime. Prices are fetched from the correct pricing data through the pricing integration. The configurator also displays the prices in the UI when a price has been set up for a particular item. The configuration displays the total price for the configuration along with the price for each selected item. This page highlights some of the benefits and compares the configurator product to the CPQ configurator. Order Management System Cloud and Oracle Configure, Price, Quote Cloud use different configurators, each have their own strengths. For example, from the perspective of channels, Order Management Cloud is a strong choice when directly entering orders in the UI and for back-office channels. Whereas for the CPQ Cloud, it's a strong choice when you're working with direct sales and reseller channels. Their strengths are different too. For example, the configurator is closely connected and product manufacturing, whereas the CPQ configurator is closely connected with configuration related to deals and also with customer relationship management or the CRM application. From an order capture perspective, if orders are captured through the Order Management Cloud system, then you use the configurator which is integrated with Order Management. If the orders are captured through CPQ Cloud, then the configurator is used CPQ. Hosting applications and the application suite can invoke the configurator by passing in a message, which configurator UI which is embedded within the UI of the hosting application. A couple of notes. If a configuration created for the product model work area and released to production, the definition of that model UI is invoked by the hosting application. If there is no release configurator model, a default configurator UI is read. The default UI is based upon the model structure and the rules which are defined as part of the common product model. End users will interact with the configurator through one of those embedded UIs. When a user saves or cancels a configurator, control returns back to the host application. There is also integration by service. Functions created in a hosting application can be validated against the latest definition of the configurator user interaction. The configurator runtime REST services enable external applications to or restore previously configured items for adjustment purposes during the order or quote processes. In this brief demonstration, you can create a sales order with a configurable product by using order management and the integrated configurator application. Before we do that, summary of our topic. From this lesson, you should now have an understanding of the following points: how to outline the integration with order management and configurator, how to create an order with a configurable product, runtime to configure